Good morning, everyone. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us. We're glad that you're here. I am Steve,
And I'm Scott.
and together we are Backyard Musings, the Science and Technology channel.
Yeah, and again, we're talking about a new species, another frog, and I think we've talked about other new species of frogs. And this one happens to be in the Amazon in Brazil. And so let's talk about this little critter.
This thing looks tiny. I don't think you could eat the frog legs; they're too small.
Yeah, you'd probably have to pop the whole thing in your mouth.
Probably, yeah. A small frog living in a flooded corner of the Amazon has turned out to be something scientists had never formally recognized before. Some species hide in remote places, others hide in plain sight. In the western Brazilian Amazon, scientists have identified a new frog species, Adenomera versena, living in forests that are seasonally submerged by rising rivers. The tiny amphibian looks so much like its close relatives that appearance alone was not enough to distinguish it. Its identity emerged only after researchers combined DNA evidence with mating call recordings, physical measurements, museum comparisons, and details about its habitat. Would you like to know more?
That detective work revealed more than a new name. The frog appears to occupy an environment that is unusual for its relatives, uh, offering another example of how much biological diversity can remain hidden even within groups that scientists have studied for years.
Researchers encountered Varsena during expeditions in the upper Jurua River region of Acre, near the Malcroa rivers. Didn't we talk about something in the Acre area, and
Uh,
the species was called Acuity
well,
or something like that?
I don't know. We were just talking just the other day about something in the Amazon, or
Yeah,
yeah,
how it was a civilization, remember?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Huh. Wow, this is coincidental. Near the Moa and Croa rivers and the city of Cruzeiro do Sul. Its name refers to Varzea Forest, the Amazonian floodplains that are periodically inundated as rivers rise.
Other closely related Andenomera frogs are generally associated with terra firma forests, areas that remain above seasonal floodwaters. The new species therefore expands scientists' understanding of the ecological range occupied by the genus or genus.
Flooding is not simply a temporary disturbance in Varzea forests. It is one of the forces that defines these ecosystems, repeatedly changing with parts of the forest, which parts of the forest floor are accessible to terrestrial animals. For a small frog whose reproduction depends on local environmental conditions, that makes its choice of habitat particularly important.
The discovery illustrates one of the persistent challenges of cataloging tropical biodiversity. Different species can look remarkably similar. Scientists call this cryptic diversity. Animals that appear nearly indistinguishable may belong to a separate evolutionary lineage, meaning traditional visual identification can miss species that have been hiding in collections or field records for years.
That's effectively what happened here. A.
Yeah.
varsena belongs to the Adenomera simonstrati species complex, a group in, Simon Stewarti species complex, a group in western Amazonia that genetic research had already shown contains multiple distinct lineages. Several of these lineages still lack formal scientific descriptions.
To establish A. varsena as a separate species, researchers brought together DNA data, recordings of its calls, body characteristics, habitat information, and comparisons with preserved museum specimens.
One subtle physical clue is the absence of dark marking on the underside of the forearm. Its mating call provides another identifying signature. The frog produces a short call with an unusually slow rhythm and distinctive acoustic properties compared with related species.
For frogs, sound can be especially revealing because mating calls help individuals recognize suitable partners. Different, yeah, different
You don't
differences.
got it right, you're not gonna get in.
Differences that seem minor to human ears can therefore help expose evolutionary boundaries that are almost invisible from appearance, alone. Is that next one mine too?
Just that sentence, yeah.
The Amazon may contain many more frogs like this.
The finding adds to growing evidence that the number of Amazonian species visible on paper does not necessarily reflect the diversity actually living in the forest. Within the A. Simon-Stuarti complex alone, earlier genetic work identified numerous distinct lineages across western Amazonia. The newly named frog resolves the identity of one of them, while others remain undescribed.
A biological population cannot be properly evaluated as a distinct species for conservation purposes until scientists know what it is, where it occurs, and how it differs from its relatives. Absolutely.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
The problem becomes more urgent when a species is tied to a specialized habitat. Celio F.B. Haddad, a professor at Sao Paulo State University, argues that the pace of habitat loss makes taxonomic work increasingly consequential.
Formal recognition does not automatically protect an animal. It does, however, give conservationists and government agencies a defined species that can be mapped, studied, and considered in the extinction risk assessments and environmental decisions. Furthermore, without a scientific name and a clear description, an uncommon species can effectively disappear inside data assigned to a more widespread relative. So you can't just be a frog, right? You got to be
Distinct.
a green frog, yeah, with red spots or green spots or no spots or whatever. I don't know.
And your mating call has to be distinct.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Scott, do you have a mating call?
Cross mating between frogs. That could just disrupt the whole pond. No, I do not have a mating call. So,
all right, folks. If you have a mating call, put it in the notes. So
let us know.
We want to know
about your mating call, or if you have frogs living in your yard and you've heard their mating call, let us know. So,
to mention that, Hawaii has a problem with coqui frogs. Coqui frogs are the size of your thumbnail, and they are loud, piercing loud, really annoying at night. I guess they got in from a ship, like a Walmart shipment that was coming from the Philippines, and it got on a boat on the cargo and was released somehow. And man, it has no natural predator. They're little tiny.
So it's like that little furry thing that was on Star Trek. What was that thing called?
The Trouble with Tribbles.
Yeah, took over the Starship Enterprise, right?
Harry Mudd.
Yeah,
he introduced them.
That's when you got to get out the heavy artillery, man, and take those things out.
Yeah, frogs. I think they use bleach. They spray bleach where they think it is, and if the bleach gets them, it kills them.
The frog or the trummel?
The what?
The frog or the trummel?
The frog.
In Hawaii.
Yeah, tribble, you just burn them.
Yeah, so they got problems with toads or frogs or whatever these things are, and chickens. Chickens in certain parts of Hawaii, they rule the roost, man.
Yeah, Kauai they do, and then there's a lot of pigs on the Big Island. Well, yeah, definitely Kauai. You see hens and roosters strutting around, crowing all the time.
Yeah, well, I guess they used to have a large cockfighting deal going on over there, and then a lot of people would just let them go, and they went crazy. So
nature finds a way.
It does. They survive. So, all right, folks.
We'll see you in the morning.
Take care, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.